Oh, we're back to this madness, are we? Well, it may have been a few months, but here we go. Those Lacking Spines, Chapter 8. Everybody's gotta have something to hide, except for me and my monkey. Roxas was having the most wonderful dream of his life, or unlife if you prefer. The important thing is not to get technical with the living states of nobodies, but rather the state of the dream. For one thing, in his dream, Roxas had no idea where he was or what was actually going on. He couldn't remember the Gutless attack, the siege of the castle that never was, his abrupt kidnapping, and the unfortunate chain of events that had been set in motion with his abduction. He could not remember the faces and names of his tormentors, nor he could remember their plans for him. Terrible, evil plans that had been set in motion since Chapter 9. For another, there was no risk of him waking up halfway through, right when it got to the good part. A most unpleasant occurrence, the author assures you. Like this one time she dreamt that she was the chick in the Rating on Sunday music video, and Keith Urban was just starting to fiddle with her tank top strap, and then the alarm went off and she was late for work, and the whole day was darker because she had missed the chance for a dream hickey from that stud, and, um, Roxas would sleep until he was awakened by either his captors or would-be rescuers. Contrary to what many of you may be thinking, Roxas was not dreaming of any sort of naughty Rating on Sunday-esque encounter with Axel or anyone else. We will make that perfectly clear. No, Roxas dreamed of a summer that would never end. He dreamed of long lazy days with nothing to do but whatever he wished. He dreamed of blue oceans, white wave coasts, and turquoise sandbars stretching far as the eye could see. He dreamed of a golden beach with lush green palms and a warm breeze. Juicy fruit cut up in a paper bowl, and the remnants of popsicles sticky on the ends of his lips. He dreamed of girls in bikinis. The corners of his mouth curled in a dazed smile as he slept. Securely bolted down onto a slab in the dankest corner in the deepest room of the darkest tower in Phantom Hearts. The second darkest tower in Phantom Hearts glistened faintly with a last flash of lightning. Glowing rain poured down constantly down its weather-beaten glass stains and sleek black steel roof. Black steel glass so bled with the mirrored glass. The top room of the tower was impressive, luxurious loft, with black painted walls decorated with posters of multiple word-named bands like My Chemical Romance. As I lay dying, I fed sevenfold, and in wispy silver a breath of flaming passion and a sunny metal for my beloved. Another one of those dumb one-hit wonder punk bands that sound like just another 20,000. Chains and washed out shouty photographs, with a terrible case of the angles, decorated gray bulletin boards, and wrinkled topic shirts littered the ground in the back of overstuffed upholstered chair, where a very depressed being was currently sprawled out upside down. From here, he could get his true twisted perspective on this sick world. The tower's sole humanoid occupant was an inexperienced brooder for his age. Not quite so experienced as his old friend Sex has been. But with the unfortunate demise of the little-perfect melodramatic, he was now in the top spot. Sex had always been a good friend of his. Or the closest thing he had to one. Anyway, it was plainly obvious no one cared about whether he lived or died. But now Sex was gone. It was so hard being at the top. Alone. He was off for today. Was left with nothing to do but mope. He would have been brooding out of respect for Sex, but he decided to abstain from it for a while. He had to stick with the moping, glowering, languishing, pounding, and sulking until nightfall. Nightfall was the only time of day that matched his dark soul. Suddenly, the pint-sized Seme was interrupted from his gloomy thoughts by a shrill beeping noise. He looked up at the monitor before him and sighed heavily to see an unfamiliar signal beeping. Something that had just entered that world's atmosphere. Something was zipping through the sky on its way to the city. Something that would add misery to his hard day, week in existence in this general. Shh. With an immense groan, he reached out for his chair for a Gothic-style telephone. One of the old ones with the turning tile-set buttons. Fortunately, it was rather difficult to turn the number dial while upside down and sprawled out, so he ended up having to shift quite a bit to reach the speed dial. After a moment or two of ringing, the other end picked up, and a soft voice sensibly asked, "Hello?" "Demikins. They're on their way." "Is that so?" The voice at the other end skilled excitement. "I'll have to be ready, my smoothie patties." "You do that," he muttered. "I haven't got the will to deal with them."
It's all too much effort.
Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight. Clorox beads turn my hair right. I'm the one called Mr. Spoon.
You're an idiot.
Aw, why so blue, Panda Bear? Demon gets out with laughter. Don't be so sad. Then we're gonna make it all better. We'll deal with them. Be time for Captain Kangaroo. Of a final maniacal cackle. Dickens hung up on his, and Saxion Semi sighed again. Replacing the handset, and sprawling out in a chair to wallow in despair. Great. The three were here. Now they were all screwed.
Imagine, if you will, the paint aisle of a hardware store. More specifically, the golden cells upon which there were stacked as paint sample swatches. Those colorful pieces of thin poster board with mock-ups with the paint colors on them for couples to hold up to each other and say things like, "Grasshopper smile will never go in the family room." I was thinking more of Traffic Cone Rhapsody or Pencil Grindings Gray. Imagine, somehow, taking every color in those sampling swatches and turning the intensity up 100-fold, past the threshold of visible light, and into the spectrum they were for coloring children's TV shows these days. No, in fact, more intense than that. We are talking some intense color here. Liberace's rainbow sequin disco suit and stadium lighting intense. Imagine taking every one of those beyond intensity colors and cartoonishly mixing them all together into one gigantic can of paint, with the colors staying separated, but also running together to make even more colors. Colors that have never been fathomed by the human imagination. Every color in the indefinitely possible spectrum from red to violet, from mother of pearl to macaroni and cheese, from baby poo green to that color they say the universe is teal. Now imagine that loading that paint into the bucket of a fire helicopter and spraying it haphazardly all over a major metropolitan area and the surrounding landscape. However impossible it may be to paint the sun stabbing your eyes out pink. If your imagination is lacking today, suffice it to say our three heroes landed in a world that was garrulously colorful. It took 5 minutes for them to allow their eyes to adjust. They were used to the black buildings on dark streets, and a dark sky in the world that never was. The most colorful thing to be found there was luxurious language during certain times in the month. Mainly, always. Other than nauseating color scheme, the world did not appear too terribly different than the suburban part of the city of OC. Shops and homes stood along a central street, pleasantly crowded with all manner of zany characters and creatures, each odder than the last. In the distance floating over what appeared to be a city park was a tall and equally colorful steel tower, impressively suspended over the ground by an elaborate anti-gravity device, and slowly following some preset orbit, likely Maine east.
Uh, Thank you, Rod. I'll take over from here.
No problem.
Rainbow-colored clouds drifted through a technicolor sky, pouring through a green-white rain down the landscape, coloring purple trees and orange streets down colorful buildings in a fine layer of snow. Llamas could be found in every direction, and the scent of cheese wafted through the air. Monkeys worked on a long line of typewriters down Main Street. Cellophane flowers of yellow and green towered over your head. You could look for the girl in the sun with your eyes, but she was gone.
There was already a joke about that song in Chapter 5.
Lexus said politely. And there in the central square of the little city block, standing high above the wacky cars and streets, was a large sign, loudly proclaiming in all of its colorful glory, "Welcome to Felsies Heights."
Let me guess, Saladin began after a long moment's stunned silence. Before we get any further in, this is what happens when clever young writers cleverly create a clever world in which features a clever instantation of their clever sense of humor.
It cleverly assumes that by clever humor, they mean idiotic drivelling they pull out of nowhere, cobbled together, and a grotesque mismatch of what they assume to be grade A clever material.
Fixon added, and then they cleverly share these things with the world by cleverly sticking some combination of the words random and crack in the summary, cleverly protecting them from any criticism that may result as by setting up a clever defense and why their feeble attempts at being clever or humor are moronic and appallingly bad, Lexus concluded. They all glanced at each other for a few seconds. My, wasn't that pretty? Saladin replied with a smirk. Vexen lifted up his hands and caught a small sample of white substance raining down the landscape. He put his tongue to it and sensed the immediate start sweetness of pure sugar. He sighed irritably. May I be the first to offer the sincere hope that this voyage is very short? Yes, it may, Saladin assured him. Bad news, gentlemen. Lysis glanced down at the beeping world guidebook. There are 2 signals here. 2 signals of what? Vexen did not sound the slightest bit pleased at the news. 2 semis. Lysis said grimly, one nearby and one extremely far away. Darkness help us, Vexen groaned as buried his face in his palm. I need to tell you who they are, Saladin queried. No, but the list is growing rather short, after all. Let's just try. Sure, gentlemen, it shouldn't be too difficult. We could take care of the semi nearest to us first, then head across the world a little ways to deal with the other. Very well, Vexen said with a receiving sigh, but I swear, if there are any sophomore tips I hear while I'm here... He was interrupted by the sudden appearance of a purple llama on a scooter, slipping past the trio on the very walkway they were standing on, and shrieked, Surrender the punts! At the top of his lungs, it sped away, cackling maniacally and singing old show tunes. Like that one, Vexen groaned. I will not hesitate to kill something. That wasn't funny, Saladin said in a tone of his voice as he watched the llama disappear into the distance. Unexpected, yes. Strange, yes. But hardly what I would call amusing. You could just stick about just anything in that paragraph for the same reaction. You would have the Montetes painting rubber balls and jokes written on them into a slot and get similar results. A failed revelation to a popular television show making fun of another popular television show. Lysis commented. That is moderately funny. Indeed, Vexen sighed. Far more amusing than this inexplicable obsession there seems to be with llamas. Hi-ho, Vexen! A small anthropomorphic chocolate king said cheerfully, materializing out of nowhere to tug on the side of Vexen's coat. With a scream of terror, Vexen pied the jelly little fellow across the way into a river, panting and gasping for breath. Now see, that was funny, Saladin pointed out, gesturing in the direction the cake had flown. Having a cake of all things appear to frighten Vexen is amusing, based on past assumptions we have made about Vexen and his current associations about the subject of a cake. That was not in any way funny! Vexen snarled furiously, ready to rip Saladin's hair up in a handful. Oh, but see, it was. Had it been any other type of dessert, or even creature or animal, it wouldn't have been funny at all. Saladin laughed slightly. Still preachy. Lysis warned him. Let's try hiding the messages and amusing metaphors or drawn-out jokes. The usual, sounds fine to me. Saladin shrugged. Vexen dusted off his coat and brushed up his hair in the back of his huff. Let's get on to the business. We'd better start pinpointing the following signal if we ever want to get out of this hellhole. What direction is it coming from, Nexus? Let's just study the back of the guidebook. It finally pointed. Here. Due west, not terribly far. In fact, I would hazard a guess it may be coming from that rather conspicuous floating tower there. Looks like an obvious place for a semi-beat, correct? Indeed. Saladin had ceased his teasing and now looked ready to get to work, staring over the tower, hovering over the park, a short distance away. I must admit, I am curious. Vexen began as the three of them set out towards the tower in the Dixon. About what? Vexen pressed his lips tightly, gesture as a tremendous sign, sticking up over the rainbow-colored trillions of trees. The name of this world is Valsees in the Heights, correct? Which would simply imply that some sort of wavering quality to this world, or some kind of switching back and forth. What about it? What could be so terribly wavering about a world centered around failed attempts at random humor? Oh, if only they knew. Currently in the charts of the world of Valsees and Heights was the loud fellow that Zixi and Seme had spoken to on the phone earlier. Damn it, kids, oh my god, what the fuck barbecue VCR? Demikins for short. He did reside in the floating tower that our three heroes were heading towards. Demikins was currently taking a bath in a turtle-shaped salad box filled to the brim with aquarium rocks, amusing himself by blowing bubbles with his spit. He was vaguely aware that there were three beings on the surface of his world that sought to do him harm, but he honestly couldn't be bothered with the moment. That sexy poo was such a worry word. All he ever did was call out Demikins, complaining that his soul hurt, or his wounds does not heal, or that he longed for the sweet release of death. Sexy poo was boring. Demikins was by all accounts a spastic fellow, though somewhat denying his behavior as merely quirky. A far more popular description of him included the words, "streaking a thoroughly obnoxious infantile twit." He bore only a passing resemblance to the nobody that spawned him, his demi-mullet decorated with what appeared to be the paintbrush swatches of random colors. He also appeared to have given himself tattoos and a box of magic markers, as there was not an inch of his skin left untouched by tearful scribblings of kittens, rainbows, sunshines, cheese, pants, llamas, and purple monkeys. It had appeared since the day the Semis were born that Demikins was different than his brethren. They all had their quirks, each and every one of them, but Demikins was the only one judged by the superior to be completely incapable of handling the entire world by himself. This may have stemmed from his tendency to miraculously lose his underwear from out beneath his ballerina tutu and Elvis suit in the middle of every single staff meeting. As a result, the superior assigned a very unenthused sexy poo to accompany Demikins down to Valentine Heights, share the world with him in a complex arrangement that would no doubt bear some heavy emphasis on the plot of chapters 8 and 9. But now's not the time to fully describe this arrangement, for suspense purposes. Demikins smiled evilly as he managed a rather large bubble of saliva. He leaned his back against the edge of the sandbox and gazed lazily up to the shrub-lit ceiling with the plastic glow in the dark plants that stuck up there and the tacky tick stuff that the first-grade teachers would use. How he loved those plants. He had quite a difficult evening last night upon discovering they took Pluto off the list of plants. In his fury, he swallowed the entire celestial body. His morning's trip to the restroom had been interesting, but there were far more matters to attend to. Demikins raised his fist and snapped his fingers. A trio of rainbow-colored gutlets that looked like small winged cows appeared above him, answering their master's call with a moo. "Francesca, those terrible nobodies are coming to turn my butt inside out!" Demikins lamented dramatically to the center one, kicking his feet up out of the sandbox and rolling over. "Be my shameful hardy pants and go destroy them, please!" "Moo," said the gutless, who was apparently named Francesca. "What? You say you changed your name to Poodle Pants? What the fuck?" Demikins expressed dismay. "Moo," Francesca insinuated again. "Oh, no, your brother-in-law is in town on business? That's wonderful! Well, tell him that if he wants to go to the oyster bar with us, he'll have to provide a tandem tricycle, because we're all out of room once we pack up Moria, Anole, and Simba and Totek." Demikins went on happily. "Moo," Francesca went out with a sigh. "What? Don't be an idiot! Ricardo, Moria, Ole, and Simba and Totek are my nipples!" Demikins squealed with glee and hopped out of the sandbox, spraying the aquarium rocks everywhere and prancing around the coat rack to get his Elvis suit in tutu. "We'll so sexy poo doodle pantsy Pookie Pie McGee, who's the real man around here!" Grr. He caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror and burst into hysterical giggles, primping his hair and puckering lips. "Yes, Gutierrez, I don't care how you do it. But make sure those cranky pants meaty butts are dead before they get up here. Or rather, they don't get up here because they can't get up here. They're dead. Unless you carry them. Ooh, on second thought, bring them to me and I'll deal with them myself. With Alice." He cackled maniacally and held up a jar of sweet pickled Regulus. Yes, there was no mistaking the pure evil that radiated from the depths of his non-existent semi-soul. "Medul!" Demikins interrupted his peals of laughter suddenly, whipping his head from right to left. "Did you hear that? Somebody has perforated the outer defenses of my impenetrable tower of impenetrability!" "Moo?" Francesca looked up in alarm. "Yes! Yes! Yes!" He dropped down to the ground and put his ears to the floor. I can feel it coming back again, like a roll of thunder chasing the wind. Ooh! I feel it. I feel the cosmos. Moo? Right here, see? The cosmos fell off a piece of my glow in the dark planet a few weeks ago, and I've been looking for it everywhere! Dimmikins held up a piece of plastic that could faintly resemble the cosmos. Oh, yes! It seems that the nudity news such as nobly entered my lair. You and your friends go down and give them a warm welcome. The three gutless nodded and headed towards the door, down to the stairwell of the tower. Before they passed, the leader glanced back to see Dimmikins wrapping his head in a healthy layer of aluminum foil. I'm activating the tower's defenses. Whee! It sings repeatedly. Francesca rolled her eyes, adjusted for her comrades to keep going, and lead their diminutive master to his whatever he was doing. Imagine a place where anything can happen. About anything, the author emphasizes absolute anything. Logic and reality are twisted up into each other in a grotesque helix of absurdity. Randomness reigns supreme. Math and science and statistics are thrown to the wind, and a greatly chaotic explosion of bright lights and colors, and wacky things going on, and silly animals and random sound effects, all cascade over a great coating of surger. Imagine taking on an extra-large photograph of this place. A photograph so large it would cover the size of several-story building like a mural. Imagine cartoonishly throwing this photograph into a giant blender with a half carton of strawberry kiwi flavored yogurt, 10 cans of the obnoxiously colored paint you just imagined earlier in the chapter, 2 pounds of sugar, and a herring and hitting liquefy. Now, imagine pouring the contents of the blender into a paint gun and giving it to a berserk gorilla riding on the back of a bull sprayed liberally with cow pheromones. And imagine setting the two of them loose in a tall, foreboding tower with spiral staircases and a sleek steel architecture, not unlike the final level of a video game. If your imagination is still lacking today, suffices to say the interior of Dimmikins' tower didn't look terribly different than the outside. Somebody's desperate for more pages. Saladin said with a smug smile from the other side of the fourth wall. Our three heroes appeared hardly out of place inside the Singing Tower, shining beacons of cold black leather in the sea of Ascaric paint. They were making their way slowly up the spiral staircase around the outside of the tower, glancing warily at the many central floors of the tower and the sanity they housed. They don't appear to be gutless, Facey remarked in a quiet voice, trying to keep their presence in the tower a low-key affair. Just oddly placed goods and appliances and bizarre animals. Lots of sugar as well. Lyson added, pressing away the powder building up on his head and shoulders much like high-calorie dandruff. Like some kind of twisted menagerie of insanity. Thus understood, of course, somebody's mistaken ideas about what constitutes as humor. Saladin grumbled ill-temporarily. It would take hours to get all this sugar out of his hair. Who would find any of this funny? Fixit asked no one in particular, throwing up his hands in the air as they passed a washing machine that bounced it like an El Camino with hydraulics, blasting out like a garage. It's hard telling. Lyson seemed to be trying to puzzle an answer to himself. But I know this sort of imagination is more or less effortless. Yes, Saladin felt strangely compelled to add. It's the long and plot-filled places with subtle nuanced comedy that are so difficult. There ought to be more appreciation for those who create such worlds in the sickening dimension of fandom hearts. Facing Alexis curiously. What? Where did that come from? Saladin blinked for a moment. You know, I'm not sure. Pathetic, desperate, egotistical little twit! Fixer rolls in his eyes. They tried to continue their way up the tower. Near the top of the floor, the stairs leveled out into a wide platform that crossed the tower's diameter. It was decorated in the style of the very odd garden, with tall statues of ironing boards and one wrinkled depiction of Chad Kroger. Flowers lined the walls with winding paths to the elevators at the far end. The fact that they were colorful should be quickly assumed. Confetti and pretzels were scattered liberally across the grounds, and elevator music piped out a speaker system from the walls. Saladin tested the elevator doors and found it to be locked, the call button unresponsive. A fairly obvious keyhole was set down below the button, the key absent from the hook that should have held it. Well, now what? Lyson asked, crossing his arms in puzzlement. This would, of course, be an opportune time for some kind of horrible gutless monster to appear behind us and display the key hidden on a ribbon around its neck, requiring us to utterly destroy it before we can move on. Vexen pointed out. Ha! Came a shrill noise from behind it. Damn it, Vexen, I hate it when you're right. Saladin winced without turning quite yet. We turn on 3. Lexus sighed. 1, 2. As soon as they turned around, they found themselves staring back at an adorable, high-sway little bugger with yellow skin, blank eyes, fuzzy hair, and an apple juice box clutched tightly in his spindly hands. Oh God. No. Not cheese. No, not cheese! I feel like my whole entire life reading career has been leading up to this moment where I have to try and imitate this character's voice. People, I may not make it back from this. I anticipate this! The creature said proudly. He did not, however, have the key around his neck. I like cereal! Oh! Our 3 heroes sighed relief. Roared something climbing up the inside wall of the tower behind the little creature. Oh! It's a llama! The yellow creature screamed and tore away as fast as his tiny legs would carry him. It certainly is, remarked Saladin, as the creature placed its gigantic hoof on the guarded platform, slowly pulling itself up to face the intruders. I had no idea this was going to become a sound of the Colossus trailer. Chains! I had no idea this was going to become a Last Guardian crossover. Chains! How many times have I seen this type of monster on Kingdom Hearts? Chains! Beast Wars has been calling you. Chains! Mother, is that you? It was actually not so much a llama as some kind of mutated mass of rainbow-colored goo, which happened to have a llama sticking out of its front end. The fearsome pack animal bleated in rage, and the rest of the goo began to boil and turn around it. More bleeding llamas began to form out of its sludge as it continued to ascend up the platform. You're going to make me do that song, aren't you? No, I refuse. It's in my contract. It's a llama. There's a llama. If that's not a funny llama. Llama, duck! Vexen screamed, and all 3 of them hit the deck as a white arm. As a part of the oozing mass, just figuring itself to a blade and swing. Wildly as so to dig for the 3 intruders. Oh, I see, Saladin said as he summoned his lances in a short gust. I can transform into random things in the heat of battle. Now it's a dishwasher. Let's yank this tomahawk out of the ground beneath their feet, blocking a sub barrage of frilly pink teacups with his quick swing. And that's not very funny, Saladin sighed. The teacups are a nice touch, but it's just too out of left field. Well, would you prefer to turn into something tremendous with sharp teeth and fire-breathing capabilities? Vexen hissed under his breath as he threw up his shield. The sheep-scented blood suddenly quivered and turned itself into a 4-tiered wedding cake with buttercream icing and candy pastilles. Vexen screamed in horror and chucked his entire shield at it, knocking the creature down off the platform to the floor below them. Now see, that was funny, Saladin remarked between bursts of laughter. By now the cake is becoming a running joke at the expense of poor Vexen, you see, and it'll remain funny as many times as it happens. It will not! Vexen roared, nailing his shield back to his hand and trembling as he pressed strings of slit-stoke hair from his eyes. Really? Yes, it will, Saladin grinned. Not as funny as it will be when I rip every one of the brains out of your thick skull and strangle you with them! Vexen glared out. Gentlemen, Moses Cunning, judging to the other side of the platform with a tremendous technicolor hand, then grasped the edge as though it pulled the creature it belonged to back up. Could we perhaps save this for another time? A primal scream echoed across the tower, and the blob pulled itself onto the platform. Now in the shape of no Canadian songster Celine Dion! The creature's growling became high-octave warbling as he burst into song. When I touch you like this, and I hold you like that, it's so hard to believe, but it's all coming back to me now. She was interrupted a moment later by hysterical laughter from her three nobody opponents. Now that is funny. Vexen claps his hands with mirth. This song is the pinnacle of melodramatic hilarity. I happen to like that song, Vic.
Fire the cannon!
Pow! We are in agreement there, my friend. Salton chuckled and he shook his head. If she had sung the song for Titanic, we might really be in trouble. Lexus added. It took a moment for the three to calm themselves down. At that point, Celine had become a fiercest colossus, with a microphone turned spike club in one hand, and in the other hand forming sharp claws right for impaling. Right! Salton's voice dropped suddenly. Let's do this. Diversionary Tactic 3, followed by Combined Attack 45. Finishing with a triple combination if it comes to that. Prioritizing offense with rising defense to the fall. Sound good? Golden! Just keep an eye out for the key. Lexus reminded him. Then he broke into formation. Saladin suddenly threw his hands to the side and rose through the air. 6 lances encircling them in a protective barrier of wind and started pointing things as he glided up to meet the Colossus face to face. They growled ferociously. It took a few swings at them, all of which he deflected or dodged, starting to send his lances out one by one to swipe at his face or hands. Meanwhile, down on the ground, and out of the creature's sight thanks to Saladin, Lexus and Vexen were collaborating on what looked like to be a powerful attack. Spinning a glowing orb of brown and blue magic, swirling together, and growing bigger and bigger, rising up into the air and slowly taking a physical shape. Saladin, bring it this way! Lexus yelled. Saladin nodded and threw off to one side. The Colossus lunged after him and nearly ran face first into the developing attack. And now! Vexen dropped his hands. Lexus did the same. The joint attack suddenly exploded, towering to a Colossus like a party popper. Instead, party popper was full of 2-ton boulders and 6,000 pounds of snow and ice. The pressive avalanche then knocked the Colossus down to the ground and buried it. By the time Saladin landed back on the platform, Lexus was hurriedly entombing the icy mound, monster and all, in a thick layer of the hardest stone he could summon. Very nice work, gentlemen, Saladin commented, flipping his phrase back over his shoulder. Thank you. Vexen tossed his head slightly and brushed himself off. The key, Lexus! Lexus kneeled and placed one hand on the stone, a moment later drawing away with key in hand. Right here. That was almost too easy. Saladin glanced over the mound that had been their enemy. Sideburns bristly with concern. Please don't say something amusingly ironic about bouncing back with twice the power and invulnerability, because you know that'll happen exactly as you say, just for laughs. Let's just get to the elevator and be on with it. Let's search them both. Already putting the key into the keyhole and starting to restart the elevator. According to the guidebook, the Seme's chambers ought to be right above us. The sooner we deal with the Seme, the sooner we can get out of this headhole, and as a text at being funny, Vexen groaned, shoving the elevator door open, stepping inside. The doors closed, the elevator began its slow ascent up to the top of the tower. Where Demikins, head wrapped in tinfoil and wielding a broom handle, was rocking out hardcore. Shooting at the walls of heartache! Bang, bang! I am the Bubblegum! He howled. Why am I not surprised it's Demix, Seme? Saladin said drolly. I saw that coming a mile away, Vexen sighed. Demix! Lexus shouted to the eyeballs at attention, tightening his hand around his tomahawk. We've come to take you back where you belong. They're coming to take me away, ha ha, to the funny part, where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away! Demikins didn't seem to have heard them come in. Once he saw the three of them standing in the doorway of his equally spastic loft, then he seemed to have a problem. Ah! You! Mr. Jaeger warned me about you all. We want to make this nice and quick, Demix, whatever you're calling yourself. Saladin informed him, drawing one of his lances out in the air, pointing at him. This whole stint will have you in Tupperware with the others in no time. No, I don't want to go in Tupperware, Demikins whined, scratching his hair beneath his tinfoil helmet. It smells like spaghetti in there, and I'm allergic to Oregon. You odds couldn't give it a choice, I'm afraid. Fexen held his shield up defensively, preparing to strike. Oh, no. Mommy told me about the bad men. I'm not... Dimmikin stretched it out slowly. Then slowly went his attention to the floor. Oh my god! The three nobodies landed at least a foot back all of a sudden. When Dimmikin fell to his knees to the ground and grabbed something. I found a ball! Good for me! He straightened, pointing at Glee with the Hello Kitty powered pink ball he had just discovered. Congratulations. Zelda rolled his eyes. Now, stand up and fight, or stay there and we'll take care of you. Something wicked suddenly glinted in Dimmikin's eyes. He grinned and placed the bowl on his head, lifting up to his feet and backing up towards the control panel at the far end of the room. I'm afraid, Mr. Bond, that taking care of your will not be occurring this evening. He snapped his fingers before turning rapidly to punch commands in the control panel. Stella! Kill them! Francisca the Gutless and her cronies appeared in short puffs of smoke. She turned on Dimmikin smooth and indignantly. What? Oh, what's that? You're going to Las Vegas to marry the toilet? You can't do it unless you get an annulment from Lawrence Fishburne? Dimmikin's gasped. Moo! Oh, I'm very well aware your name is Francisca, darling. He purred in response. Now destroy the intruders, cause I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. And I have to call for the Crescent baby through the door. Baby, I can't fight this feeling anymore. Francisca rolled her eyes. She gestured towards the three intruders. Her rude, gutless companions let out long grunts and prepared their attack. I feel stupider for having witnessed that, Fexen commented. You're not the only one, Zelda groaned. Ye gods! Dimmikin suddenly screamed, glancing out the window. I'm running out of time. The sun is almost setting! Though our three heroes would have loved to know exactly what Dimmikin meant by that, and wish they had known sooner when the time finally came for them to discover it, they were immediately distracted by the onslaught of Moo Gutless that began pouring in from smoky portals on all sides of the room, charging at them with horns and hooves and utters ablaze in fury. Unfortunately for Dimmikin and Francisca, the Moo Gutless were terribly weak little species. It didn't take much work at all for Zeldin, Fexen, and Lysis to smash through their illogical ranks in a minimal amount of time, leaving nothing but the turtle sandbox standing between Dimmikin's and its impending doom. Francisca, however, survived because she had a name, and was therefore loved by all. Potato! Dimmikin yelled, pointing across the room. You're not going to work, number 9. Lysis said seriously, narrowing his eyes at the freakish incarnation of the comrade. Now hold still and we'll make it quick. You're too late! Dimmikin did not sound as random as he had a moment ago. Face wild with poison as he extended an accusatory finger at the three of them. I am destroying this tower with all of you inside it. You'll be crushed to death beneath tons of rainbow-colored steel. You'll go crashing through the sky of Validation Heights, screaming in a giant fireball until it explodes upon impact, and all three of you die instantly. Sure enough, a large physical clock display lit up on the top of the control panel, giving the nobodies only 3 minutes to get their business done with to get out of the tower. The things looked decidedly unconcerned about this. They all could, after all, teleport. One minor problem, Fexen spoke up icily. You're in the tower too. You'll die along with us. Oh, right. As just as explained. Oh, well, only one thing to do now. Give up. No! Press the magic button! Nick gets howled with laughter and poked himself in what could have been his navel. The three nobodies stared, unamused. Oh! Or I can press this button! Dimmikin reached over to the control button, pressed the second magic button, which shot a bright light out of the small spotlight, and engulfed Dimmikin's what appeared to be a tractor beam. You suckers! I'm teleporting over to stay with my good friend Sexy Poo, and now you three will die! Lysis lunged to try to keep him from escaping, but Dimmikin's body already appeared to have phased out by the teleporter and went right through. Quickly recovered back to his feet, in time to see Dimmikin disappear from the room with ominous final words. Have fun after dark, Bulldogs! Damn it! We lost him! Zelda growled fiercely. You'll be at the other tower with apparently sexy on Sunday, Bryson said quickly. But we've got more pressing matters, such as escaping from this tower. What do you mean by after dark? Let's supposed to hear a question. We'll cross that bridge when we come down to it. Now, let's get out of here. The three disappeared into their own dark portals, leaving the Rainbow Tower to explode onto the shining rainbow glitter it had been born from. In the second darkest tower of Phantom Hearts, now hovering just on the edge of the city limits of Valdeason Heights, Sexy Poo was preparing for nightfall. The darkness of the night was the only time he felt his spirit could properly flourish. He felt whole at night, when the world of Valdeason Heights was under his control. The dark tower, but not so dark as the other tower, was hovering carefully, just along the shadow of night, just out of reach of the setting sun's light. Observant eye could make out the landscape changing drastically as the light drained away, shadow overtook it. Hell, an observant eye could have probably noticed it too. Sexy Poo adjusted the oversized robes covering his black fist-up tank top. Baggy pants with straps, belting the legs together in 6 different places. His chains jangled, and his spiked collar looked fine as light drained away outside. A slow, evil grin crossed the land as he twisted the eye tower of night. Suddenly a scream echoed throughout the almost darkened tower. Lucy! I'm home! Sexy Poo's face sank immensely. You could almost hear his emo little spirit being crushed beneath the boot heel of his damned annoying comrade in arms, spending the night. Saladin fixed and Alexis had observant eyes. They landed somewhere in the middle of the Central Park area. From the hill in the center of the park, they could see shadows overtaking the land in the distance, and the landscape twisting around in darkness. What in the name of nothing is going on? Saladin said in a voice that held a hint of distant dread. I don't know, Vixen stared at the approaching wall of shadows, but I don't like it at all. Gentlemen, Alexis diverted their attention over a large tree. It turned out not to be a large tree, but to be the signpost of an immense Valdeason Heights sign they had seen from a distance earlier. For the first time they could make out a small plaque on the bottom part of the signpost, inscribed with small, scrubbing writing. Three of them rushed over to the sign and leaned forward to read as the light around them faded. Welcome to Valdeason Heights! Your esteemed overlord says assigned by the Grandmaster Fangirl, Damikins, oh my god, what the fuck, Valriq VZR, is Sexy Poo extending a warm handshake of welcome. It reminds you that mindless conformity is our chiefly regarded system of operation here. We hope you enjoy your stay. Due to labor disputes and the fact that one of your esteemed overlords is too stupid to tie his own shoes, leadership of this world will be divided into 2 preset periods of time, day and night. During the day, you'll be lorded over by your esteemed overlord Demikins, as reference for all things random and quirky. During the night, you'll be lorded over by your esteemed overlord Sexy Poo, and his reference for all things dark and angsty. The cease extraction and frustration that's been causing you, our loving subjects, will install the mechanism that will put you in the landscape in both the proper mindset for your current esteemed overlord. The mechanism will take effect every 12 hours at precisely 6, and will be mostly painless. Any complaints about the mechanism process shall be discussed with Sexy Poo and Damikins, and followed by your immediate torturous death. Have a wonderful, horrible, depressing night! All 3 nobodies backed away from the side and regarded each other with concerned glances. Saladin was finally the first to speak. So let me get this straight, he said in his dread voice. When darkness washes over us, we're going to be brainwashed into mindlessly depressed and whiny versions of ourselves. Sounds about right, Vixen replied in an equally lifeless tone. But only until daybreak. At daybreak, we turn into insane, random clock beings, like the rest of the pathetic souls we've been encountering all day, Saladin continued, still without a trace of life in his voice. Think that's legitimate, Vixen said. Oh, hell. Glacius groaned. Not now, Saladin said, ushering for the other 2 to follow him as he made a beeline to put some distance between him and their impending, angsty brainwashing in the wave of the shadow. There must be some way out of this! I'm not willing to count on thinking of anything or something later, Vixen snapped. We gotta put a stop to this nonsense before we end up trapped on this world forever! Strong minds, gentlemen, Lysis encouraged them. We have to stay calm and remain strong! If we panic, we'll be lost. We just gotta keep clear heads about this. They turned to watch the trees from the park in front of them, losing all trace of color except drab, lifeless gray. The branches drooped, the leaves fell, and the trees were calling in a thick layer of sullen rain. The landscape, touched by shadow, was dead, barren and depressing, with run-down buildings and miserable-looking inhabitants freezing to death on the street corners and wrapped in red cloaks. It looked like somebody had driven through a boombox blasting Helena. Even the grass was depressed, and or annoyed, to death. Keep focus on the objective, Lysis told him, still inclining back and away from the advancing darkness. We must get inside that tower, kill the Sandmanes, and get off this world! We're going to restore the organization. Keep your minds clear and strong. We can fight this! We're going to finish this! Escape Colossa! Shouted Aaron in his eyes, his sunburns on high alert. We can't outrun it! Lysis groaned. We haven't had time to call the ship! Keep focus! Lysis repeated. Remember, we gotta keep focus. What matters is that we do what we have to, and not feel. Everybody, brace yourselves! They were suddenly overtaken by the wall of shadow, darkening and killing the grass beneath their feet and trees along them. Angsty trees. The colors vanished into grays, browns, and cold blacks. The rainbow water in the fountains turned scummy. The flowers died, and the world was left a depressing scene of its former self, run down and desolate. A rhapsody for the power of humanity's dreams and the utter failure of all dreams to take off. Instead of crashing to the ground like a 5-ounce swallow laden with a 5-pound coconut, leaving nothing but whining wanks in her wake. In the darkest tower of Phantom Hearts, Rocket stirred slightly in his dream. An attractive woman just lost her bikini top. The curls in his mouth cased in a dying smile as he slept, securely bolted down to a slab in the darkest corner, the deepest room of the darkest tower of Phantom Hearts.